Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Nosferatu, your friendly neighborhood Mexican film critic. Been dealing with a cold lately, so apologies for the voice. I'm a bit stuffy, but this video, just because it simply did just finish, and we did just rewatch it with the entire family. Stranger Things ended, kinda. Let's get into it. So, Stranger Things. This show has been going on probably, around 10 years, honestly.
It's been 84 years.
And I kind of had like a love-hate relationship. It's not like my favorite. I don't really care super much about it, but it was still a pretty good show, especially kind of, getting kids into the kind of horror genre as well. But yeah, we did just get done rewatching all of it since the newest season came out and it finally wrapped up, and we wanted to show Vincent. But yeah, so it took us a couple weeks there to sit through it, and now after it being finished, a lot of people were complaining about the ending, and I do get where that's coming from. I will kind of get into some spoilers ahead.
Spoilers!
But let me just kind of, talk about a little bit of what I thought about each of the seasons. Season 1 started out pretty strong. You gotta kind of set it up. You got the whole 80s vibes with Eleven and, the Demogorgon. And I thought it was fine. It wasn't anything too, encapsulating for me. It was just like, alright, it's kind of a cool show for Season 1. It had one Demogorgon, which it looked cool. With Season 2, when it started getting in more with, the Mind Flayer, and for some reason, seeing, a giant, huge-ass freaking celestial smoke monster, just floating over a city, how do you fight against that? How do you run from that? You can't.
Could grip it by the husk.
That put it in a whole other, cosmic level for me, instead of, oh no, it's a monster that I can kill from, another planet. You can't shotgun a smoke monster. I mean, you can shotgun one. You can smoke a smoke monster, I believe. Yeah, that kind of really elevated it for me during that. You also kind of got the demi-dogs, which I didn't care too much about. Like I said, the monsters are cool, but it was just a physical monster you can literally destroy. It's a little less scary. I mean, yeah, and I wouldn't want to face one personally, but like I said, you can't with a giant Mind Flayer smoke monster, and Will is just chiefing it all to the head, man. Oh, I'm gonna get a bowl cut, dog. It's gonna be great. The whole rocks that the entire freaking thing for some reason. So yeah, Season 2 kind of really upped it for me a bit. Kind of made it a bit on a different level. And then when Season 3 comes around, it kind of went back a bit down. I will say it's very Resident Evil-esque, because the Max's brother Billy, who gets possessed by the Mind Flayer, is melting all the people down to make this giant flesh. It's very Resident Evil monster. All it's missing is one giant shoulder eyeball, It's oh, look at the clear place to shoot. But yeah, in this one, Eleven loses her powers, and also, yeah, just, spoiler alert, I can't not talk about it without talking about the whole show, so, but yeah, just Elle losing her powers, kind of being more of a rebel and everything. What I do like about that is, her, and I just love her outfits in that season. They're all colorful. She's real vibrant. It looks really cool. Devin, my wife, actually really enjoys it too. But that was kind of fun, with Steve and Maddie going into the underground Russian thing under the mall. It's kind of funny. But like I said, at the end, when they're just fighting a giant flesh monster, all I can say is Resident Evil. It's very that. But I will say, the CGI in that, with them just using fireworks and it's sparking everywhere, and man, that must have been one expensive ass episode for sure, but it did look really cool. So Season 3 was pretty awesome, I'll say. It's not the best. I think 2 is probably my favorite so far, until we get to Season 4, and I believe everyone can agree with me that Season 4 is man. You get Eddie in there, and of course I'm a metalhead, so of course I'm gonna gravitate towards Eddie. But yeah, they really kind of upped the violence in it too. I mean, yeah, you see people get killed and, you know, turn all globby and gluey, but when kids start floating in the air and their arms and legs start bending and breaking, their jaws crack open, their eyes suck in and pop, like, holy. And actually, I didn't know about the song that got made from the first scene with that, but Vincent showed me, and now it's been in my freaking head the entire time.
Chrissy, wake up! I don't like this! Chrissy, wake up! Hey, hello? Time to wake up, time to wake up. Can you hear me? Wake up, Chrissy! I don't like this! Chrissy, wake up!
Chrissy, wake up! I don't like this. Hey, hello. That's kind of been floating around in my freaking head the entire time.
Nice place, Nickel.
But yeah, so season 4 just kind of upped the stakes a lot. There was a lot more violence going on. The like subplot of Hopper actually being alive, and Joyce and Murray have to go to Russia to try to break him out of prison. And it's not like the best subplot. I thought it was kind of cool towards the end when they have to fight the Demogorgon and stuff like that as well. And then whenever they do go into the Upside Down in season 4, dude, it's got like the most metal freaking part in it in the world, dude. Eddie needs to make pretty much a distraction, so he just plugs his guitar in.
It's like she was destined for an alternate dimension.
Bunch of amps, loud as hell in the middle of the Upside Down, just shredding Master of Puppets. And fun fact, he actually played the entire song. He learned it. Practice it. He got to play with Metallica to help learn it, and they recorded the entire backing track for him playing the actual solo. So
lucky bastard.
and what's cool about that is he actually had it as loud as he could, and it was so loud they thought he was going to tell him to turn it down, but he said to turn it up when they were recording, just so we could feel the extra like intensity of your shredding while he's being surrounded by a bunch of like demi bats.
Is the most awesome thing ever.
Man, so season 4 really ended on a high note, man. You're like looking at it, you're like, oh hell yeah. Season 5 should have been like Endgame, Avengers Endgame. It should have been wall to wall intense.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
But it kind of didn't, man. Like the town split open, there's like a hole to hell, and oh, we're just gonna wrap this up kind of, and the military came, put a bunch of metal, like, I don't understand, man. 5 still had some cool things to it. It's nice the show's over, but it's also not over. So a lot of the things I'm seeing wrong with 5 is there's just so many plot holes, a lot of unanswered questions that got brought up that never were resolved. And now we're supposed to be focusing on Holly, a brand new character who's been in the background. She's pretty much been a cardboard cutout for their sister, and now we're supposed to just suddenly care about her out of the blue because she's like the main character of season 5, essentially.
Who even are you?
So yeah, so Holly's there. We're supposed to care about her. She does get taken by freaking Vecna, which is funny enough. The guy who plays Vecna, I mainly know him from Sweeney Todd. I feel you, Joanna. He's that guy. Still ain't learned his lesson. Trying to lure people into places. You nasty. So anyway, Vecna's been bringing all the weak children so he can possess them to... This is where we're getting into serious spoiler territory.
Spoiler alert.
The Upside Down is not another realm. It's not another reality. It is essentially a bridge, which is a wormhole to the other reality, and they are both colliding together. So we have two worlds being connected through the Upside Down. What really sucks about it, like, Netflix isn't bad at all. They're greedy, money hungry, and pieces of shit that keep canceling fantastic shows, but they'll spend billions of dollars on a show and run it into the ground.
Let's burn this mother down!
And they've even, what I don't like about Netflix, and they've even admitted it, it's for side screen viewing. And side screen viewing is for everyone that watches stuff and is on Facebook the whole time. I get it, we have small attention spans, but if you can't put your phone down for an hour to just focus on one thing, like, now I'm dumb for having to watch it and seeing everything explained like I'm a child for the person that's like on Instagram taking pictures on Snapchat. I'm like, dude, if Snapchat and Facebook are still gonna be there, give it a minute, man. And now they gotta dumb it down for audiences because they're just assuming you're not watching anymore. They want your ears to be happy while you're scrolling through dogs and the Epstein files. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
I don't want to be here anymore.
That's what's kind of upsetting about it for me. So, like I said, besides that fact and all the plot holes, I will say that Vecna in this season is badass. The first one, he's threatening, but now he's like kind of got all these like spikes and roots and holes, and I think he looks way more intense, man. And then like the ending boss battle is pretty cool. I will say everyone has been saying online that they beat the game on story mode because it was a very small, incomparative boss battle. You got Elle inside of this giant, fleshy, freaking mind flayer thing that looks badass. Like I said, this is like next level Resident Evil boss. And then you got the kids there, the group of, young adults just kind of being badasses. Everyone's hitting their things, everyone's hitting their mark. And then inside, Eleven's fighting Vecna, and they spike him down on a huge thing, and everything just goes off without a hitch, essentially. So there was not really much tension in it because, like I said, you already know what's going to happen. In it, Welcome to Derry, they kill the characters off in the first episode, so you don't know what the f***'s happening. I know they're not going to do that in Stranger Things.
No balls.
And I also knew someone was going to die. Someone has to die. It's too good of a show, and people are too invested in it that you can't leave it with everyone having a happy ending.
I wonder who it is.
So essentially, they kill them. Vecna's sitting there impaled, and then Joyce, the mom, Winona Ryder, comes in there. And this is the very first F word they dropped in the whole show. And she said, "You f***ed with the wrong family." And then chops his head off with an axe. So that does end, and there's a lot of plot holes in that as well, because if Will is linked up to Vecna the whole time they're burning the giant monster and stabbing and beating the shit out of him, Will obviously must be going through that too, but it doesn't pan back to him. And you kind of screwed up ending your show when all of the questions have to be answered by the director's post wrap.
Absolutely ass backwards.
Because like now they're coming out in interviews, they're like, oh well, that's why we didn't pan back to Will. And then you also kind of get this backstory of what Vecna started as like a kid who found the special rock that went into his hand. And everyone's like, what's the rock? Oh, well, guess what? We get to find out in a spin-off. Of course you're going to spin it off. The fact they spun it off, because now their foot's already out the door. Instead of wrapping things up as well as they could, they decide they're going to just squeeze it out to something else. And so that's kind of where I think a lot of their brains went to, is focusing more on the spin-off than tying up loose ends. Because after everything's said and done, other spoiler alert, Eleven dies. She has to. She kind of totally had to. But yeah, more plot holes to the story are, after all this is done, it does like a 18 months later. There's no consequences. No one ever questioned anything. The military moved out. I'm pretty sure these kids killed 10s, 20s of people. Like, soldiers alike, man. So they didn't get in trouble. Everyone graduated on time, even though Max has been in a coma for 2 years. How does she have the credits to graduate? So I will say the graduation scene with Dustin, pretty much on the school, ripping open the Hellfire lids, throwing up the devil horns and flipping off. Man, that's exactly what Eddie was going to do when he graduated. So that was super punk rock. I do dig that. And they did kind of end it a little, everyone's playing D&D, and then Mike kind of does the, his stories of where he would like to see them. Freaking Will came out as gay, sees him with a boyfriend at a bar, Dustin's doing his thing, I see blah blah blah, and then he does this whole, well, maybe Elle really didn't die, and it was number 8 who was projecting, but like, she's dead, man. If his theory of the second homegirl using her projection powers to make a fake Elle to die, like when everything exploded in there, she would have been vaporized.
Poof.
And that would have gone away, so I think it was silly. It's kind of hopeful, I guess, but just let it go, man. Do your spin-off, I guess, but don't drag it out for ages. But I have seen worse endings to shows. Game of Thrones they could have ended it way before they did, and it would have made a stronger impact instead of kind of just, it petered out like a little baby going, bleh. But it wasn't bad altogether. You know, you can watch Stranger Things with your kids and stuff. It's a decent family show. It's got some good times, some bad times, some cool stuff, some lame stuff. But all in all, you know, at least it's something that's somewhat finished. Flaws excluded, I guess. But yeah, I felt this was a good time to talk about it since it's finished and I can move on to other stuff. But it's pretty topical. So I do appreciate everyone joining the thing. We went up 3 subscribers with my last video. Hope you guys enjoyed the Avatar one. So let's see how this year continues, man. Stranger Things, did you guys like it? What did y'all think about the ending? Did it suck? Leave a comment. Subscribe, man. Comments and likes, all these. I know they're a small click for you, but it means everything to me or something like, I don't know. But yeah, leave a comment, man. Let me know what you thought about it, what other stuff you'd like to see me cover, man. I just want to still keep putting content out, even though I have a cold right now. But yeah, so I just want to talk about Stranger Things. Thanks for stopping by. I'm still waiting to get some more Dubby. I need to give with my wife to figure out what flavor we want first. But yeah, use 10% off code NOSTUDE. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out. Love you guys, and you have a blessed day.